Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my lab. Today I'm going to show you the new Losi King Sling. Well, as always, I would like to take just a second and say thank you very much for stopping in and taking a look at another one of my videos. And if this does benefit you in any way, do please consider hitting that thumbs up and subscription buttons for me. That would really help me out. Well, with all that out of the way, what you see in front of you here is the new Losi King Sling. This is a new LMT model. It's going to be pretty much the same underneath with a new body, new wheels and tires. Now, with all of my videos, I do like to start with a controller in this model. This is the Spectrum DX3 transmitter with the telemetry for the batteries included. Now, this is a pretty nice radio for beginner level. This has the switch for the training mode, so you can do 100%, 75%, and 100% throttles. It also has the ability to use all of the AVC receivers should you want to add that. This receiver in this model is going to be the standard 315 receiver, so AVC of course will be an add-on. I can honestly say the body that's in this model is growing on me as time goes on. I do like its very bright green color. I'm a big fan of bright colors in bodies. I think I would be more prone to look at the orange truck version as opposed to this one. I think that really suits my preferences better. The body does feature an interior in there, and as well as this whole thing can kind of pivot up and out of the way. Now, the one thing that I am not a real big fan of when it comes to this style of body is underneath the shell, the posts don't line up on their own when you swing them down. So you kind of have to force things into place when you go to line up the clips just because of that problem. I would say that's an area that Horizon really needs to work on in the future in models like this to make sure things line up properly. Electronically in this model, it's kind of the standard flare with the Spectrum Firma systems. So this does have a 130 amp ESC as well as a 2800 kV motor. That system is capable of handling up to 4S, so this would be quite fast if you wanted to run that big of a voltage in it. The receiver, as I mentioned earlier, is the 315 receiver without the AVC, and the servo that's included is the Spectrum S614 high torque Metal Gear servo. One other change that I've noticed in this model as compared to something like the Rift is part of the servo saver in here is metal, which is a major wear and tear component in those other models. So that's a welcome improvement here. Now, looking under the body, we get a pretty good look at its structure. They've done a good job with a powder coating on the chassis in both this green color and in the orange color as well. Of course, they have included these scale headers, which may be prone to break off, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with those as you're driving it. They've also included high-end features such as adjustable threaded shock bodies and sway bars and all metal links. So those are all nice things to have in a model such as this one. Center drive shafts in this model are plastic telescoping shafts with metal yokes, so those should be pretty durable. Now, the axles here are that same composite material from the LMT that has a reputation of breaking. I do not know if they've made any improvements to those axles in this model, so we'll have to wait and see what happens to the durability as compared to the original LMT. In addition to the quality control issue of the body not lining up with the post not lining up rather when you seat the body down, I did find 2 screws in the wheels that are already rusted. So that's something that I will of course report to Horizon. Maybe they will have an ongoing issue with that, or maybe it's a limited thing. There's really no way of knowing on that end. Now, for the measurements in this model, it's a pretty good size. This comes in at about 13 1/8 inches wide and 14 1/4 inches long. The tire diameter is 6.5 inches, but disappointingly, the ground clearance is only 2 inches from the center to the bottom here. The almost paddle-like non-belted tires are pretty soft with a very deep tread in them. They're almost 1/2 inch. So these should do very well in their primary purposes of mud, but I do think that they would do pretty well in a sandy condition, though I always have a hard time recommending sand as a driving surface, just due to the wear and tear that it causes on a model. Now, I'm kind of a fan of the way that the tires are mounted in this model. They're mounted with a replaceable hub, so if you happen to strip out the wheel hex in the center of the hub, you could replace just that center hub. Now, to remove the wheels, there is a cap that's located over the wheel nut, and a number of screws have to be removed in order to access that. So a minor inconvenience for a pretty scale look. Well guys, as we put a wrap on this video, I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at Losi's new King Sling. And if you have, do please consider giving me a thumbs up and a subscription, as well as don't forget to hit that bell if you want to see my future content. Well, that'll wrap it up for this one, and I hope to see you in the next one.